So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our offseason rebuild series, and today it's going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. This past weekend, the Grizzlies season officially came to an end. They were swept at the hands of SGA in the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was never really a super competitive series, and ultimately what happened was, I think, what everybody expected was going to happen. Now, things could have changed a bit. Ja Morant obviously going down in game 3 with that injury. Memphis had a really big lead in that game, of course, then blew it. And I still want to give them some credit because even without Ja, they played OKC pretty tough in game 4. So, the season was never going to be a championship year. It just never really felt like that in Memphis. There were certainly some ups and some downs. There was obviously some injuries. And now the future of this team, to me, is going to be a very interesting one because they have a really nice core locked into place. But is it championship worthy? That's going to be the question we have to answer today. And as is always the case in these videos, let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comments section. I've been getting a lot of good video ideas lately, and I really do appreciate it. So let me keep hearing them down below. Always love seeing what you guys come up with. So, yeah, I'm excited about this Grizzlies rebuild here today. Of course, at this point, we are only doing off-season rebuilds for teams that have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. So, by the time this week gets to the end, I'm sure we're going to have at least 1 or 2 more of these to do. But I love these off-season rebuilds. They're always a ton of fun. Let's get into this one. We're going to go ahead and do a quick overview of this Grizzlies roster. Again, there is a decent core locked in place here, as I mentioned, but I do think there are a few different moves that are necessary if this team does truly want to actually contend for a championship. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. We'll go position by position. I'll give you some thoughts and kind of what I'm thinking moving in to the 3 years in this video. So starting out here at the point guard spot, Ja Morant, when healthy, we all know how absolutely amazing he is to watch. Truly one of the best point guards in the world when he is on the court. 25 years old, he's 92 overall, he's the face of this franchise, he's not going anywhere here today. I don't really think Ja Morant is going to be moving on from Memphis anytime soon. I know some people are, try to speculate that maybe he played his last game in a Grizzlies jersey. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Ja is the future in Memphis, and I fully expect him to be here moving forward. Now, behind him, got to give a lot of credit where credit is due. Scottie Pippen Jr. was a fantastic find, a fantastic development job by the Memphis Grizzlies. The contract is great, and he is a really, really solid option coming off the bench for this team right here. So I have no plans on moving on from him. I think he is absolutely an unbelievable backup point guard option here behind Ja. Now, the shooting guard spot. Desmond Bane's an interesting one because he's 27. He's definitely getting paid quite a bit of money. And although he's a solid player, I don't really have any gripe against Desmond Bane. Is he going to be good enough to be that third option on a championship team? I don't know. I genuinely do not. So, I'm not going to give him away for nothing. That would be absolutely idiotic. I think he's a fine player. He's never going to be a star or anything like that, but he's getting paid like one. So we'll sort that out. Luke Kennard's an okay bench piece. Those eyes will forever scare the living shit out of me. But he's going to be a free agent. I do think he's an important piece here. Whether or not he's as important here in 2K, that's going to be, very much up for interpretation. But he's a nice shooter off the bench. Kind of, I don't know, John Conchar here as well. The small forward spot. Jalen Wells had an incredible rookie season. It was unfortunate the way that it came to an end on kind of just a really, really terrifying injury. But, for a guy who was a second-round pick, I think he was everything you could have, really dreamt about it even more. So I don't know if he's going to be my starting small forward for 3 years here today, but he's going to be a very, very nice piece for this group moving forward. And then behind him, we got Vince Williams Jr., Lamar Stevens here. I'm not thoroughly really impressed with either of these players. Vince Williams Jr. is obviously a stout defensive player, but they're just role pieces at this point. Jaren Jackson Jr. is an interesting one. I think at times this season he was their best player. And that's, again, not a shot at Ja. It's not an indictment on Ja Morant. But Jaren Jackson Jr. was very consistent for this team throughout the majority of this season. And it's going to be interesting because he's eligible for a big, fat contract extension this offseason, I believe worth north of $340 million. So will they give him that? It's going to be a very, very questionable thing. I think when you get into the $300+ million territory in terms of contract, there's only really a few players that actually deserve that kind of money. And obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr. is now eligible for it. So, would I give Jaren Jackson Jr. $345 million? I'd lean towards no, but obviously you're not going to lose him for nothing either. So, going to be very interesting. Behind him, Santi Aldama, again, nice bench piece guy that can certainly space the floor at 7 feet tall. And then Gigi Jackson, who I'm going to really see how his development goes before we kind of go any further. And then the center spot. Let's discuss it. It was one of the weaker positions kind of without a doubt on this team heading into this season in real life. And although Zach Edey, showed some things as a rookie, I think there is definitely still a couple big steps he needs to take before he can truly be an impactful center, especially in playoff time here in the NBA. So, the man's 7'4". Obviously, he's not going to be out there, doing things that we see with some of these centers today. But, Zach Edey, I just need him to play like he's 7'4". That's what I like. You're 7'4". I need you to go out there. I need you to be physical. I need you to rebound the basketball, defend at a high level. It just didn't really, in terms of the eye test, I just didn't really see it, especially in that first round series against Oklahoma City with great bigs like Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. So he's young, obviously. He's 23 years old. He's going to get better. It's just going to be a interesting kind of decision we have to make if he will be the starter the entire time. Brandon Clark was injured. We're definitely going to see what we want to do with him here today. And then you got Jay Huff, Marvin Bagley III. So it's the team. It's a good roster. There's obviously some pretty quality depth here. They're just not quite in that top tier Western Conference contention yet. So that's going to be our goal today, is kind of figure that out. Who do we need to add? Who do we need to trade? And so on and so forth. So offseason number one is going to go pretty much the way it always does. We are going to get into the draft. I'm not exactly sure what the pick situation is looking like. We will definitely sort that out, though. So the Wizards have our pick at 14. Okay, let me just confirm that that's actually supposed to be the case. Taylor Jenkins was obviously fired, and yeah, Thomas Isel, I don't know. I'm going to clean house. I'm just going to get somebody that I think would be the best option here. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of great coaches here today. These guys, what is up with these ratings? Is this Darvin? I don't really know. I mean, none of these guys are really jumping out at me. I don't like doing it. It can be a Stauffer day. Maybe not. May have to go for a guy like Jacob Underwood. Certainly had some success with him as well. And if not, maybe Ethan Augustine. I have no idea. So Stauffer is still mulling, so I'm actually going to wait on him one more day, and he accepts. Okay. It is the 2025 NBA draft. Let me just confirm the pick is actually supposed to go to the Wizards, and we'll go from there. For what feels like the first time ever, 2K is actually correct. The 2025 Grizzlies first-round pick is unprotected, and it is now going to the Washington Wizards. I don't know if that is from the Marcus Smart trade. I am assuming that it is. I can't really think of any other notable deals between the two franchises. So we do have 2 second-round picks. It's not bad. There's not a lot here in terms of future draft capital, which is pretty unfortunate in a situation like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the 30th overall pick from the Celtics. I'm going to now combine this with 2 future seconds and see if there's a way. This is a first, I guess, in 2029. I'm just trying to get some sort of assets moving forward because we're not working with a lot in the pick department at this point, unfortunately. So we have no team player options here. I will qualify Santi Aldama. He's certainly a player I'd like to extend. Forgot Yuki was on this team. He's certainly a fun story, but he's probably not the future here. All right, it's free agency. There are definitely a few names here. Santi, of course, is kind of my first priority in terms of bringing somebody back. Luke Kennard's not a bad option, but he is pushing 30, so we'll sort something out there. But at this point, I do feel like there needs to be an upgrade somewhere. Whether that's at the center or small forward spot, that's kind of still going to be up for interpretation. But it kind of goes without being said, we need at least one more guy here. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Chicago Bulls. Made a deal, and we added another really elite scorer here in Kobe White. So, we certainly gave up a decent amount to get him, but Brandon Clark, Jay Huff, John Conchar, 2 future draft picks. That's the trade package, and Kobe White obviously coming back here in return. So, moving Desmond Bane to the 3 might not be the most perfect fit in the world. Fortunately, he does jump up a few overall, so he'll be my starting 3, and obviously adding Kobe White to this team as my starting shooting guard, I think is a really, really nice addition to this group. So, we, trimmed out our depth a little bit. We do need to find a new backup behind Zach Edey. Obviously, we are going to bring back Santi Aldama. There's a possibility that maybe we do something with Gigi Jackson. I don't know if that means trading him. I don't even know if it means moving his position, but, Santi Aldama is going to play behind Jaren Jackson Jr., so I don't know what that means for Gigi Jackson, but that's obviously something we'll sort out as well. I mean, part of me says maybe we just go ahead and include somebody like Vince Williams, who's not a horrible piece. We could just maybe be okay with moving him in like a second, whether, this is a backup shooting guard, backup center. We'll sort that out. I don't really love any of these deals. Let's see. Yeah, they're not really great. I mean, Quentin Post from the Warriors isn't horrible. It's actually not bad. What is his team control looking like? Is he done after this year? He's done, actually, after this year. Could get Jay Huff back. Maybe I just do that. You know what? I'll take Jay Huff back. It's not a perfect deal, but just pretend we included Vince Williams Jr. instead of Jay Huff in there. So Huff will be the backup here. Still doesn't really leave me with a decision here on Gigi Jackson. I may or may not re-sign Luke Kennard, and then we'll kind of just go from there. So my shooting guard options here, I like Karis LeVert wouldn't be terrible. Gary Trent Jr. sitting here. That's actually a pretty nice piece. I'd pay Gary Trent Jr. We actually have about $25 million in cap space. I didn't realize we actually had that kind of money right now. All right, well, obviously we're going to have to give some of it to Aldama, but he's qualified for now, so it shouldn't be a huge issue. So I think bringing in Gary Trent Jr. is a pretty nice addition to this squad. We're not going to renounce Santi Aldama, Kennard, Bagley, Stevens. Everybody else here is pretty much free to go at this point. So Gary Trent Jr. I do think is a nice pickup for this team. I'll hang off and wait on Aldama for now. And then Trent is officially signed. We are going to pay Aldama about $14 million annually. It's not a bad price tag. And you know what? I think I'll just hang on to GG Jackson at this point. He'll kind of just be another guy in this rotation, as he does have a team option after this year. So yeah, that'll be the team heading into year number 2. Obviously, a nice improvement with Kobe White on this squad now. Is it enough to, compete with the best of the best? I don't know if that's quite the case yet, but a nice step in the right direction. It is now time for year 1 here in Memphis. We have finalized this starting 5, and I think there's a lot of potential with this group here. It is Ja Morant, Kobe White, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey. Bench unit's going to be led by Jalen Wells. Santi Aldama, of course, we brought back. We extended him. Scottie Pippen Jr. remains the backup behind Ja Morant. Obviously signed Gary Trent Jr. And finally, Jay Huff as the third or final guy here in the rotation as my second center. So I feel bad for GG Jackson. I'd like to find a way to get him into this rotation eventually. Obviously, having real depth in real life is good, but here in 2K, there's no injuries or anything like that, so it's not nearly as important. But we'll sort that out in the offseason, but as of now, this is going to be the 10-man rotation, and I think we're in a pretty good spot. So I'll see you guys at the end of year 1 here in Memphis. I think disappointing would be a pretty big understatement for this team. We obviously had a relatively successful offseason, in my opinion, and it led to a year where we won only 40 games. So we're going to have to take a pretty big look in the mirror this offseason, but obviously we are nowhere near where we thought we were going to be. Jokic wins the MVP award. Cooper Flag ended up in Utah. He's your rookie of the year. You got Giddy coming off the bench in Detroit. Giannis wins DPOY. Evan Mobley wins most improved. Luka, clutch player of the year. Mark Daignault, coach of the year in Oklahoma City. So we're in the play-in. It kind of just is what it is at this point. We'll end up, winning this one. We'll be the 7 seed. We lose. We'll be battling it out with New Orleans or Los Angeles for the 8 seed. So here are the standings. Again, 40 and 42. It's just nowhere near good enough. It's disappointing kind of all around. And then here's a look at the East. Let's talk about some of the numbers. We obviously will be able to tell a decent amount from this picture. Ja Morant was pretty good for us. Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, Kobe White. I don't really know. I mean, nothing here is jumping out at me like crazy. I mean, sure, it'd be ideal if Edey would score a little bit more, but we have 4 elite scorers in the starting 5. So, that's not really what I'm, super worried about. Wasn't a great year out of Aldama, at least in terms of shooting. Neither was it for Scottie Pippen Jr. So, we'll see. I mean, again, something can change. We have a good playoff run. You never know what could happen. Devin Carter, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis over there in Sacramento. We end up losing that game, so we will now be battling for the 8 seed here against New Orleans or Los Angeles. Yeah, at this point, let's just take a look and see what New Orleans has for us. They brought in Drew Holiday, Ace Bailey, Dalton Connect, Zion, Carlo Matkovic. I have no idea. We lose. Completely out of it, not even making the playoffs. We lose 2 play-in games, and that's really disappointing. Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves going up against Cat in the New York Knicks. Knicks win it all. Cat, your finals MVP. Just bad, all around bad, and to make it worse, there is some sort of swap, some sort of protection on the draft pick this year, so we're in a really bad spot right now. It is not great, to say the least. So we'll sim through this real quick. It says the Hornets have our pick. I don't even know, quite honestly, to be frank with you. I'll read you the protections real quick here. Let me just read this to you real quick. This is the 2026 Grizzlies first-round pick. Washington has the right to swap its 2026 first-round pick, protected for selections 9 through 30, for Phoenix's 2026 first-round pick. Orlando then has the right to swap its 2026 first-round pick for the less favorable of Phoenix's first-round pick and Washington's first-round pick, if conveyable. Memphis then has the right to swap its 2026 first for the least/less favorable of the Phoenix pick, the Washington pick, if conveyable, and the Orlando pick. And Charlotte will receive the least what? We don't have a first-round pick, is my takeaway from this. It's so ridiculous. All these swaps, all these protections. It drives me absolutely fucking crazy. So we will not be drafting anybody this year. Edey, Jackson, Huff, all going to be brought back. Qualifying, we have none. Free agency here, obviously pretty big one in Jaren Jackson Jr. No real offers, so we're going to pay him. Obviously can't just let Kobe White walk out the door. So I think another trade is necessary, and it's certainly on the horizon. Oh, okay. Thank you, Cleveland. Pulled off a deal with the Cavs, made a little upgrade at our center spot. Ultimately, I don't have anything wrong with Zach Edey. I think he's a fine player and will continue to get better, but we're trying to win a championship right now. So I made an upgrade, sent out Santi Aldama, Gary Trent Jr., and Jay Huff, and added ourselves Jared Allen to this team. So we're good at the center spot. It now clears a spot for GG Jackson to join this rotation, and at this point, we just need to find a new backup shooting guard. So still some pretty nice options here in free agency. I think a guy like Nickeil Alexander-Walker could make a lot of sense for me. So pretty much no harm, no foul, in my opinion, at this point. So, nothing super, super crazy. We didn't add a superstar, but I think we have significantly upgraded this group. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. Last year was obviously a big disappointment. This offseason, we made another major addition, adding Jared Allen to this team. Funny enough, him and Zach Edey are now the same overall. I find that hard to believe, 2K. But no, we're in a really good spot right now, and I think we have just as good of depth, if not better, than what we had a season ago. And if this team's not going to be in the playoffs, I'm kind of at a loss for words at that point. Ja Morant, Kobe White, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jared Allen are starting 5. Just an insane defensive front court. Jalen Walls will be my 6th man off the bench. Zach Edey, yes, is obviously the highest overall. I'm just not a big fan of traditional big men being 6th men. GG Jackson now finally cracking that rotation. Scottie Pippen Jr. and finally Nickeil Alexander-Walker rounding it out. So it's an elite team. There's really no other way to describe it. I think it's going to be a playoff team. At least I hope. And I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. So Luka decided to sign with the Bulls. That's certainly an interesting one. We go 58-24 on the year, which is obviously much better than the season we had just a year ago. Something to note, I was paying attention throughout the first 20 games that we were simulating, and we were 11-9, and I was like, oh boy, it's time to hit the panic button, and then they turned it on. So, I think we're in a good spot. Luka, though, MVP. AJ DeBansta ends up in New Orleans. He's your rookie of the year. Jimmy Butler now coming off the bench in Golden State. That's certainly interesting. Wemby wins Depoy, Liam McNeely most improved, Kyrie clutch player of the year, and Chris Finch gets coach of the year. So the good news is that we're in the playoffs. I have no idea what seed we are here. We're going to be a 2 seed, which is really great. So we will be facing either the Los Angeles Clippers or the Utah Jazz here in round 1. And there's a good old look at the Eastern Conference. All right, numbers across the board. Pretty much everything as I expected. I have really no complaints all around. Rebounding department was Jared Allen, and assists is going to be Ja Morant. So first round of the playoffs, it's going to be us and the Los Angeles Clippers here. You got Jamal Murray, now a member of the Clippers, Chris Dunn, Bryce Sensabaugh, Bol Zubac. So they have moved on from Kawhi. They have moved on from James Harden. Interesting choices, but let's see what happens here in round 1. Quick 2-0 lead for us, also winning game 3 on the road, and we sweep them out of their own building. Here comes a real pain in the ass, because we know how good Wemby is. They somehow added Pascal Siakam to this. Obviously, some development going on for Stephon Castle. Not an easy round 2 matchup. Good news is we have a lot of big men to hopefully take care of Wemby. And we are up 3-1 at this point in time. Don't blow a 3-0 lead. 2K. Do I look like I'm in the mood today for this shit? I'm not. Let me tell you that. You fucking bums. All of you. I mean, what is this? What is this? We're right there. I can feel it. We are right there. God, that's so bad. Fucking 40% from the field, 42%. It's just so incredibly frustrating. All right, it is time for the final offseason. I don't know at this point. I think we obviously have the talent. We have the best coach possible. I don't really know what the problem is. So I don't know if there's going to... Oh, good. Give the Bulls the number 1 overall pick when they were able to sign Luka. I don't really know what the move is here going forward. There probably has to be at least one trade. I just don't really know what it is. So not going to draft anybody here. Bringing both those guys back on their team options. Free agency. GG Jackson. Surprised we were actually able to even afford him. That's a shocker. Yeah, there's going to have to be at least one move. We're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to turn our focus to a little bit more of a defensive-oriented team. Making a trade here with the Atlanta Hawks, swapping Kobe White for Dyson Daniels. Obviously, players that excel at one end of the floor, and I'm hoping this works out because this is kind of really my last hope at this point. I think ultimately we have about as good of a team as you can possibly field here in 2K. So I'm really hoping Dyson Daniels is the guy that kind of flips everything for us here today. But he's taken over as my new starting shooting guard, and I really do think that's going to be our only change. So here goes nothing. We have officially reached championship or bust territory. I think it is really clear to myself and probably to all of you that this team is absolutely loaded, and we have been for quite some time now. We blew a 3-0 lead in round 2 last year. Can't happen. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Ja Morant, new addition here with Dyson Daniels, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jared Allen. Bench unit, Jalen Wells, Zach Edey, GG Jackson, Scottie Pippen Jr., Nickeil Alexander-Walker. There's not really a detailed explanation. There's no, vast conspiracy theory here. This team is fucking good. Just go win the goddamn games. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. It is 2 straight MVPs for Luka Doncic. We also have our best season to date, 68-14. All well, great, all that shit, but championship time. Tyron Stokes, also your rookie of the year. Bryson Tilley wins 6th man. You got Wemby winning Depoy. Will Riley most improved. Wemby also wins clutch player of the year. Mike Stauffer. We finally have a really good record at 68-14. So, yeah, I am hoping it is time for a championship. kind of feels like it has to be at this point. I don't really know what else I could do to possibly make this team any better. So, yeah, we're the 1 seed at the best record in basketball. Let's do it. Phoenix in round 1. Booker. Brandon Miller. Okay, Mike, how the hell did they add all these guys? Okay, it's a solid squad there. No denying that. I think we are definitely the better team, though, so not super worried. Sweep. All right, round 2, Minnesota here. They, I think, won a champion. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on, man. Oh, brother. Interesting round 2 matchup for us here against the Memphis. We're Memphis. Against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're up 3-1. It's a little gentleman sweep here. Now, it is us and the New Orleans Pelicans here in the Western Conference Finals. A really solid squad. Zion's incredible. AJ DeBansta, Ace Bailey, but I don't know. I think we're a better team. I do. So, quick 2-0 lead for us. Make that 3-0. They do finally win a game. We are in the NBA Finals. And we are taking on the man himself, Luka Doncic, in the Chicago Bulls. Also have Tyler Hero. Well, I guess they don't value defense. Tyron Stokes, Matas Buzelis. You got Derek Queens, an old friend, Santi Aldama, Isaac Okoro. They have the best player in the series. I'm not going to deny that. I think we are a much better team, though. But we are down to... Really? Okay. Fight. Show some fight here. Come on. I think we have to at least force Game 7, right? I can't leave here with some sort of BS getting blown out. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Holy shit. Okay. Now it is Game 7 on our home floor. It is officially do-or-die territory. I would obviously like to do. I would not like to die, and it looks like our guys just don't give a fuck. Okay. We're now in a 2-point game. I'll see you in there. I'm sure many of you are aware that I don't tend to excel in situations where I have to actually play a closely contested game, so I am a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie to any of you. So I am just going to try to do my best, obviously holding that 1-point lead right now. Ja Morant just blowing by Luka Doncic right to the basket and gets the easy dunk. All right, it is a 3-point game, obviously still 1 possession. We were at the point where I certainly need to focus. I do not want these guys coming in. Get off the... No. Starters need to be in the game. Chicago going to take their second to last timeout. 2:23 on the clock. So typically at this point I would talk about the actual team. Oh, good. That sucks. Desmond Bane fouled out. All right, I will keep Jalen Walls in there. I'm pretty confident. Typically at this point I talk about the actual team, the Grizzlies. Why the fuck? Wait, oh, did I not notice that Jared Allen also fouled out? That sucks. That really sucks. Nope. What the hell is going on there? Buzelis going to pull a 3. He's going to miss that. Good board from Edey. And then, where's Ja Morant? Give Ja Morant the basketball. Ooh, I thought I had a shot there for a second. Little screen here from Edey. I'm trying to just work it low post. A little mismatch here. Kick it out to the shooter. That's a horrible shot. I didn't realize Luka closed that so well. God, I suck at this game. You're all absolute sickos for enjoying it. All right, Ja Morant. That's a 2. Stokes hits it. All right, back to a 1-point game. 1:45 on the clock. Got to just focus here. I think, again, kind of abusing the defensive mismatches that they have. We just kind of got to hunt the bad defensive players here, like a Tyler Hero or like a Luka Doncic, I think is easily our best play. So, Ja getting another easy 2. Tyler Hero is just not going to be able to guard him one-on-one. So, I think, exposing that is easily our best bet. So, yeah, Zach Edey's in. He's pretty slow to use, if I'm being honest here. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Just going to try to deny the pain as much as I can and allow the CPU to do the rest of it. So, oh my God, he smoked the fucking dunk. Holy shit. Give Ja Morant the basketball. Why does this game refuse to pass to Ja? Ja, easy lane to the basket, gets that dunk. Surprised they're not taking that final timeout, but we have now extended it to a 2-possession ball game here. Stressful, but Ja Morant coming up clutch when we need him to. So Tyler Hero going to initiate. Oh shit. Oh my God. Zach fucking Edey, bro. Oh, I thought Daniels had a lane there. Oh, my God. Luka gets absolutely shook. Gets the foul. No roll. Oh, my God. Luka is fucking pissed. Did you see him jumping up and down? Oh, my God. That's so funny. All right. Daniels to the free throw line. First one is up. It is late because I just awful at shooting in this game. Daniels only has 2 points, but obviously if he's doing it on the defensive end, we do have a lot of guys that can score the basketball anyways. This is also a very low-scoring affair. What is this fucking free throw release? It's the worst fucking release. Honestly, if they want to win, they should just foul Dyson Daniels. How does this shit fucking happen to me? It's like I have the game in the bag, and then it just completely goes to shit. All right, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I have abused Tyler Hero in the mismatch every single time. I do want to force the 2-for-1 just in case. Ja Morant getting down the lane. Tyler Hero, good fucking luck, pal. I mean, I don't really know what he's supposed to do at that point. You got to help off of him. I mean, you got to do something there. Put somebody else on him. Okay. All right. Hero's going to not get the 2-for-1 off, it looks like, which is really good news for me. He's going to work against John Morant in the paint. Can't get it to go. Tyron Stokes in the paint now. They're going back to Luka, which is probably the guy that should have had the ball all along. Luka going to miss. Big rebound there. They're going to foul Jalen Wells, and we hit these 2 free throws. This one's pretty much over, my friends. So I got to focus on these free throws, obviously. Kind of goes without being said. First one for Wells. That is a slow-ass... I really hate this game. I really do. Some of the worst free throw releases in the... I'm being trolled. I'm being fucking trolled. There's no other Now we can't grab a rebound. Oh, joy. Give me John Morant. I have no other choice. No matter what, it's going to be... is that clear path? No. It's going to be a one-possession game, even if I hit both free throws. I mean, just a Hall of Fame choke job by yours truly. And, yeah. I don't know. My heart's just not in it today. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just... I haven't, enjoyed this video pretty much since year one. I'm not going to lie to you. So, Chicago going to take their last time out. Obviously, they need to get a 3 off right now. I'll put in a defensive lineup, whatever 2K suggests I do for that, and we'll just go from there. But I have this one pretty much in the bag, and it went to shit pretty quickly. Defensive lineup is just all the starters that remain available. So, yeah, let me see what the focus is right now. How do you do that? There's like got to be a button here, something. 3. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Nope. Defense. What is the other one? Okay, shit. Well, I can't find the fucking menu, so let's see what we can do here. Jared Allen going to try to deny Luka the ball. He's certainly not the guy I want to get the last shot to, and they still do it. Wow. What a game. What a comeback. What a team. John Morant going to be your finals MVP. Okay, series out of him, and yeah, man, got it done. It was a frustrating rebuild. I'm not going to lie to you fine people. Ultimately, we accomplished our goal at the end of the day, so I can't really complain. But yeah, I felt we should have won at least 2 championships in that. So disappointing way, I guess, but still won a championship, so can't really complain. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what the Memphis Grizzlies do this offseason. I think at some point you can only kind of run back the same thing so many times. I understand they are still a relatively young-ish team. They're not, some team with a bunch of 30-plus-year-old guys that are going to, do nothing but continue to get worse. This is still a group that can get better. And obviously they're really good at developing talent. So I think that is definitely something they have going for them. But it'll be an interesting offseason in Memphis, to say the least. At least that's what I'm expecting. So let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. And that'll do it for me. So as always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.